Hello, welcome to another episode of Around the House. Right now we are replacing a bike tire, or rather a bike tube, on a 20-inch BMX bike. What you've seen me do so far is I've taken a nut off the valve stem. The new tire doesn't have one, but this one did. And just take the retainer nut off. And now I am screwing or unbolting the 15 millimeter axle nuts, and you'll see there are some retainer washers there that kind of center the axle onto the fork. I use the 15 millimeter wrench to pry into the tube. I like using the wrench because it has soft edges and doesn't pinch. Screwdrivers can sometimes pierce tubes or otherwise gouge the tire. Pulling out the tube, you'll see this is a heavy-duty tube. It's a puncture vine resistant tube. This one's a little less quality. It does have some slime in it. I first get it centered in the hole, and then slowly go around and insert the tube into the tire. Off camera, I did put a little bit of air into the tube to make it easier to go on because they are folded quite a bit in shipping and packaging. And then I'm gently pushing on the tube, or pushing the tube in, and then pushing the tire back on the rim and pulling down the stem to make sure it has a good seat. Then I'm putting a bit of air into the tire. This is a pump that works for Presta and Schrader valves. So I'm giving it a good pump, and what I'm doing now is just making sure the tube is centered within the tire so that as I fill air, it doesn't pinch against the rim and the tire and perhaps puncture the tube, the brand new tube. It looks good, so I feel like it's hard enough. I then put the valve stem cap back on. The green just means it's a brand that has slime in it that helps seal up holes if you get some punctures from goat heads or puncture vine. Now I'm just putting the tire back on the fork, and you see I switched it around to make sure the treads are facing the same way as the rear for consistency, and then centering those washers that help align the rim onto the fork, tightening them up and spinning it around, just making sure it is nice and tight and spinning straight so it doesn't wobble or anything. So there it is. Thank you. See you around the house.